A week ago today, BCSO's Missing Persons Unit announced they were looking for 37-year-old Krystle Proctor. She had been missing since April 27th. The van she was known to drive was found on Cinnamon Creek near Fredericksburg and Hamilton Wolf. Proctor was found inside that van. As BCSO investigates, they're looking for the person that you just saw there in a green long sleeve shirt. There he is, blue pants, and a red head covering.
So yesterday I brought you guys a video, the case of Krystle Proctor out of San Antonio, Texas. Her body was found in the back of a van. Now they say there is a suspect and they gave us a picture. Yesterday I broke you guys the news. I also showed you a picture of who the suspect, allegedly is, and gave you a name. Well, I have major news. Come to find out, the name I gave you was another name he was using. I have his real name. I have his real background and everything. I'm going to bring it to you. Fugitive TV. Welcome to Fugitive TV. I am your host, Ray Marcel. And what we do here is we take a look at cases. We also take a look at true crime, any case that needs a deeper look or a different perspective. And the reason why I can give you a different perspective is because I was once a fugitive on the run from the law myself. After I committed some white collar crimes, I went on the run and lived in different countries under different names. Things started to catch up and I eventually turned myself in. What I do now is I own multiple businesses. I run this YouTube channel and I help family members locate missing individuals or help them locate fugitives that need to be brought to justice. Why? Because, hey, I learned a lot of skills while doing what I had to do. So I know exactly what it takes, what they do, what they're thinking, and everything, right? Well, yesterday, I brought you the tragic story of Krystle Proctor out of San Antonio, Texas, okay? Her body was discovered in the back of a cargo van. Now, at the time, she was reported missing. And then neighbors, I guess, reported the van sitting there because there started to be a smell coming from the van, indicating she was in the back of that van for a while. Unfortunate situation, unfortunate. Nobody should have to go through anything like that. So first of all, my condolences go out to the family and friends. Tragic situation all the way around. She was also a mother. So, like I said, it's very tragic, very tragic. Now, the one thing I can tell you guys is that nobody has spoken to or seen her apparently since April 27th. Okay. And the missing report went out after that. So I'm going to read to you guys a report real quick, just in case if you don't know the story. All right. If you don't know the story, or even if you do know the story, just bear with me because I'm just going to read this report so I can give people the details that don't know the story, because this needs to be spread out more. Okay. So this report right here is from KENS5. Okay. And I think I read the same article yesterday. Like I said, this is for people that don't know the story, or if you need a refresher. A missing woman was found dead. Now, investigators are looking for a white van in connection with the homicide investigation. The white Ford E250 van has a Texas license plate, TXR4158. Now, come to find out, this cargo van is actually Krystle's van. Okay, this is her van. She owned multiple companies. Two of these companies are a transportation van and then also a kennel business. Okay, they were breeding dogs and selling dogs. All right, so it makes sense of why she owned the cargo van. So she was found in the back of her own van. Now you see this person right here. This is the suspect that they say allegedly is, could have possibly done this. Which I'm going to show you a picture of him without all that on. All right. Now it says San Antonio Bexar County Sheriff's Office is asking for information related to a homicide investigation involving a woman being found dead in a white van. The white Ford E250 van has a license plate, and I gave you the license plate earlier, what it was. Here is a picture of him again. All right. Here's a picture of the van. Then it says the sheriff's office says on May 7th at about 10:11 a.m. they received a call for a missing person report of a 37-year-old Krystle Janae Proctor. The missing persons unit immediately tried to locate Proctor, who had been missing since April 27th. Proctor's vehicle she was known to drive was later found in the 8800 block of Cinnamon Creek. Proctor was found deceased in the back of the van. The subject, wearing a green long sleeve shirt, blue pants, a white head covering, was seen possibly being associated with Proctor. If you have any information about the van or subject, and it tells you to please call this number. Now, here is a picture of the potential suspect without all those clothes on that he was trying to cover himself with. As you see all the way to the right, you have Krystle. You see Krystle Brown. That is Krystle Proctor. She's the one, unfortunately, they found in the back of the van. That is her standing next to her man at that time, which went by the name of Mike Larry. Now, if you look at the middle picture, you see he's wearing their Orlando Magic jersey. And if you look below him, you will see Mike Larry is with Krystle Brown. Now you can see that, it was tagged. Now, as far as I know, this Mike Larry account since has been deleted. Okay. So he called himself Slick and deleted the account, his Facebook account. Now, if you look all the way to the left, you see the suspect, covering from head to toe. Now, if you see his upper body, even with cover from head to toe, what he has on, you can tell, obviously, he has a strong upper body. He's got skinny legs. And then look at him in their Orlando Magic jersey. Look, it's the same shoulders, same arms. Look at his hands, the way his hands are. You could tell that it's him right off the bat. It's a dead giveaway. So a lot of people knew him as Mike Larry, especially on Facebook. Mike Larry is not his real name. That is just one of his aliases. Now, so he was going by the name of Mike Larry, all right? That was not his real name, all right? And what made me think like this guy's real name is not Mike Larry, there was a couple things. I did a background report on Krystle because I always do a background report on the victim, because you find a lot when you do a background report on the victim, and you can find sometimes some things that either don't connect or they connect. And on her report, I didn't see no Mike Larry whatsoever, but I did see the last name of Brown, okay? Which Krystle's name, she was going by Krystle Brown on Facebook, and also has a TikTok called Meet the Brown. So I knew for a fact this guy is not a Mike Larry. He's got to be a Brown. Well, yesterday when I came across this story, I came across a Derek Brown who had a long, I'm talking about history of violence, lying to the police officers, giving fake names, driving vehicles where the plates don't match. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this looks like a person, or these are the type of charges when somebody is either running from the law, I know, or they're trying to hide from something. This is coming from somebody who's doing some rookie moves, all right, is what I looked at. Now, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this guy's real name is probably Derek Brown. He's probably Derek Brown because all of his criminal activity, it just aligned up. Even when I looked at the criminal activity, I went into the Maryland, because he's from Maryland, okay? He's from the Maryland, Virginia area. So he's from that area. His family's from that area and everything. Even though they were living in San Antonio at the time, all his charges were in Maryland, Virginia, the states around there, even North Carolina, all right? And multiple charges of giving false names to a police officer, multiple charges of driving without a license. I'm talking, I counted maybe 15 charges of driving without a license, all right? About 6 charges of giving a fake name to a police officer, maybe 20 charges of driving a vehicle with the plate that don't match or some sort of altered plate. So this is the sign of a guy who's trying to conceal or hide something. Well, come to find out, Derek Brown is not even his real name. Derek Brown was a name that he was giving to police officers when he was getting pulled over. So he was given police officers the name of Derek Brown. All right. And this is probably how he got some of these charges of, false reporting or driving on a license, things like that. Okay. So Derek Brown is not even his real name. You know what his real name is? John Brown. John G. Brown. And not only that, look at this. Look what we found. Look what we found over here. An old Facebook account from John G. Brown, the same individual. Okay? The same guy. From 2014. And look, the same muscular build. Look at his hands. Look at his arms. Same muscular build. The exact same guy. What is this right here? What is he doing? Why even post this? Then somebody comments lunatic. Well, buddy, look at the arms. Same arm length. Well, now that I found and figured out what was going on, all right? He was going under the name of Mike Larry. He would get pulled over and sometimes use the name of Derek Brown, okay? But his real name was John G. Brown. And the reason why he was given all these fake names is because he had warrants out. He was a fugitive. Actually, he still is. Now he's a double, triple fugitive. He has a fugitive warrant out of Virginia County for a weapons charge, okay? And a few other charges. Now, I'm going to read to you guys. It's a lot. I'm not going to be able to get to it all because I've never seen an individual. I've been doing this channel for about a year, guys. About a year. And by the way, I've grown to 25,000 subscribers within a year. Thank you so much. So please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Please help me get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. Hey, so I can start doing this full time, especially for people that need this, all right? I told you guys the charges that was under Derek Brown, the name he was given to police officers, okay? He had multiple assault charges. There was weapon charges. There was burglary charges. I even saw fugitive warrant charges under there. Under John G. Brown, his real name, even more. He's got a deadly weapons charge, assault in the first degree, reckless endangerment. He also has conspiracy to commit assault in a second degree. You know what conspiracy to commit assault is? That means he was planning to assault the person. That's not a spur of the moment you get into an argument. That means he was planning. That means that I don't know how they found out, but they found out he was planning to do it. More reckless endangerment. This guy has so many theft charges. He goes around stealing so much. It is crazy. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I see maybe 7 or 8. Okay, assault charges, 7 or 8, and then another conspiracy to commit assault just under John. He also has evading arrest in 2019 in Texas. So something happened in Texas in 2019 where he was trying to evade the arrest. Okay, so he was running from the police or whatever it was he was doing. And then here we go with the failure to display license plate, handgun carry, transport in a vehicle, public roads, all right? Regulated firearm, multiple handgun charges. I don't understand. What was he doing this, getting arrested and not showing up to court? I'm trying to figure all this out. Was he just bonding out? Because he has tons. Guys, when I say he's got enough charges just to do life, probably. do life without unaliving anybody, because here on YouTube, I can't use the M word, M-U-R-D-E-R, on small channels like mine. So just in case you know why some people say unaliving, that's why. If you're a smaller channel, they'll flag the video, and then a lot of times the video won't get spread to the masses like it's supposed to be. But just on these things I am seeing alone, this man should not be seeing daylight. I don't understand exactly what's going on with the justice system. I don't know how he was kept getting out. I don't know if he was telling on somebody. I don't know what was going on. But I will tell you this. Krystle, from what I gathered, was a very loving and caring person. Okay. So from what I gathered from talking to people, she was loving and caring. So she probably did love this guy. And obviously she did, right? She owned multiple businesses, put them all in her name, put everything in her name, and allowed him to run one of the companies, which was the kennel company, allowed him, I guess, to give him that chance to where he can change. You know, a lot of people do that, right? Unfortunately, some people just cannot change, okay? Some of these assault charges, he violated a protective order. Some of these assault charges are allegedly on ex-girlfriends, on his exes, all right? I'm not going to give you their names. I'm not going to put them out there like that. I'm not going to give you anybody's names. I'm not going to put, only name I'm going to give you is this guy's name. That is it. He's the only one that needs to be out there. And of course, Krystle's, because she is the victim. All right. Now, some people are probably wondering like why it took so long for the missing report, because nobody really spoke to her since April 27th. And then, of course, the missing report wasn't filed until I believe it was right after Mother's Day. I have to go back and look right now exactly when it was filed. I believe it was like right after Mother's Day. Well, one of the reasons why is because this man was very controlling. Okay, he was very controlling. All right. I found evidence of him being controlling. I also found evidence of him telling her, hey, not to talk to any of her family members, any of her friends, to block them on social media, all kind of things this guy was doing. And the reason why he was doing that is because he didn't want any of her family or any of her friends, you know, that put that bug in her ear saying, you don't need to be with this guy. You shouldn't be with this guy. Okay. Because there is some evidence that I did find that some people were warning her not to be with him, okay? And I guess because she was such a loving and caring person, you know, she cared for this guy, that she didn't take those warnings, unfortunately. And we all probably wish that she did, but because of this situation, women, I do a lot of cases, a lot, all right? And I see this too many times. I'm actually doing a case now on a missing individual that she was last seen with her boyfriend. Police showed up at the house. She had bruises and everything on her face, and police did nothing. And guess what? That was the last time she was seen, and she's been missing ever since then. Her name is Caitlin Tressler. And her boyfriend had an extensive background. It's one thing to have a background on certain type of things, you know, but when you have come across somebody with multiple assault charges, when they have a history of just being violent, a lot of times that shows this person has some sort of a temper. They have some sort of an anger issue that they can't control. Okay? When these people have these anger issues, these tempers that they can't control, these people can snap at any moment and you don't know what you're doing. It's almost like trying to tame a wild animal. Yes, they're nice at first. You feed them, and everything else, but let them miss one meal. Now they're looking at you like the food. Okay? Now, I'm not blaming any of the victims whatsoever at all, because a lot of times Krystle might not even have known the full extent of history of this man. And I'm willing to bet you my last bottom dollar that what she thought she knew about him, she obviously didn't know about him. I'm willing to bet he had dark secrets that I'm pulling up and exposing right now to everybody that she probably didn't even know. All right? This man was also cheating multiple times on her, all kind of things, all right, that I discovered. Yes, you can try and hide from everybody else, but I can tell you one thing, from some of us that's lived this underground life, and like somebody like me that's been on the run, you're not hiding, buddy. You're not hiding whatsoever. Now, I will tell you, like I said, this guy's originally from the Virginia, Maryland area. He also could be in North Carolina in the Fayetteville area. I saw connections with the Fayetteville area too. All of Virginia, all of Maryland, Baltimore, that whole little area he could be most likely in. And he is not a hard person to point out in public, not so ever. I showed you guys everything. So if you do see him, this guy, he's violent. I would not approach him whatsoever. I would just call the authorities, and let them handle that. Once again, my condolences go out to the family. This should have not happened. Now, apparently, when she was first missing, they did, to my knowledge, they did question him. Now, I don't know if he gave them a fake name at the time when law enforcement questioned him. This I don't know. I'm in the dark about that. But allegedly, he was questioned. I don't know if he was detained or anything like that when she first went missing. And the only reason why somebody even knew she was missing is because her 6-year-old son was very sad. Her 6-year-old son was allegedly at school making a Mother's Day gift card. And he told the teacher that he can't give the gift card to his mom because she was beat up and in the hospital. And I guess from him saying that, that's when suspicion, rose. Like, hold on, what's going on? And then the report was made that she was missing after that. And like I said, I believe that he was questioned. I don't know if they actually took him to jail. This part, I don't know. But he was questioned, detained, or whatever. They let him go, and he's been vanished, on the run, not heard of since, okay? Now, the one thing I can tell you, in my experience, and also dealing with other people who have been on the run, the first two things they usually do is they leave and they go to a person they think they can trust. They're not on their own. Usually they go to a person they think that they can trust. A lot of times it is going to be a family member or a woman they were talking to on the side the whole time. Okay. And the sad part about this is the woman on the side is not going to know everything that's going on. I've seen this plenty of times. I just did a case just recently, a couple months ago, out of Texas, out of Houston, okay, where he unalived his girlfriend that was expecting and then ran off to New Orleans or Louisiana to a woman that he was talking to on the side. All right. Well, a lot of times this is what these people do. Hopefully they catch him. I don't think he's going to last long because if you ask me, he's sloppy. So hopefully they catch him soon. And, rest in paradise, Krystle Janae Proctor did not deserve this. Once again, anybody is welcome to reach out to me. You're welcome to give me anything you want. If you know any idea of where he's at, just go ahead and call, like I said, law enforcement. All right. But I wanted to give you guys this updated video on what was discovered and what was found. Okay. So remember, Mike Larry sometimes will give the name of Derek Brown, especially to law enforcement. Mike Larry, Derek Brown is really John Brown, John G. Brown, with warrants out of Virginia. Okay. There might be some warrants out of Maryland too. I'm not sure. And now there's a warrant out of Texas. So the walls are closing in on him. Please like and subscribe. Okay. Turn on notifications. Please help me get to 30,000 subscribers. I am one of the fastest growing YouTube channels in the true crime sector. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in and watching my show when there's so many other shows you can watch, okay? So until next time, please love one another. Take care of one another. Watch your surroundings. Look out at your surroundings, okay? Until next time, this is Fugitive TV, and I'm out.